Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and X-Men Red, issue number 10. Alright, this is a particularly badass issue. I'm digging this. Alright, let's get started on who actually made this badassery. So this is The Hate Machine Part 10, Mutant National War. Man, a 10-issue arc, 11-issue arc, we're going, whew, let's do this, baby. So Tom Taylor is the writer, Roger Antonio is the artist, Rain Barreto is the color artist, and VC's Corey Petit is the letterer. Jenny Frison made the variant cover. The main cover for crying out loud. Graphic designers, Jay Bowen, Anthony Gambino, and Carlos Lau. Alright, so Jack Kirby and Stan Lee created the X-Men. So we've got Jean Grey is starting a war against all of humanity. She's sick of them, and she's just, that's it, we're done. We're kicking some booty, and we're not even taking names. We're just going to kill all of you guys. Like humankind extinction. Except you realize that it's actually a fake. She's actually got Forge creating a video duplicate, of Cassandra Nova. So this video that's going out to the world, if she was just doing it in her mind, she could just make people believe it was Jean Grey. Psst, no big deal. But instead, it's going out over TV. It's hard to convince people of a video image is not actually this ugly old woman with a bruise on the side of her face, is actually Jean Grey. So I'm digging this. I'm liking this. Her plan is very... Look, she's evil and she's powerful. And when I say evil, she's actually one of the more evil characters that there is in the Marvel Universe. You know what I'm saying? But her plan here seems very... not just cut and dry, because that's the outskirts of it. But when you really look into it, she doesn't have too many backup plans. She's got backup plans to continue Plan A. It's like, oh, Plan A's been diverted off course. Here's a plan to bring it back on course. She's really like one-hit wonder. This is what we're doing, and I don't have much of a backup plan in case things go south, which is good for Jean Grey, not so good for everybody else. But she's basically bringing a whole bunch of the different militaries. She, brought a helicarrier, for crying out loud, to bear over top of Genosha, so that when the mutants come, it will look like humanity is trying to defend itself against Jean Grey to continue the bad name that she's trying to give to Jean. Doesn't help that Jean Grey opens up with a sentinel appearing on the freaking shores. Like, are you kidding me at this point? I like that Namor got to be in this comic book a little bit. It's like, oh, he keeps on being advertised as being on the team, but nah, not really. So that was cool. Man, every single issue, you can't go a single issue without being reminded that Tom Taylor's favorite character is Laura. Because, man, like Little Honey Badger, she's constantly bringing up not even new ideas, but ways of bringing up new ideas, which is fine. I mean, that's kind of what some of the best kids will do for parents who will listen. You know, it's like you listen to these simplistic ideas that kids will come up with, and it's like, oh, I get it. What do you call it? Tony Stark makes an appearance in this one, and it makes sense. It makes sense why he's here. I like that Jean Grey is doing that thing that everybody who watches the movies, the superhero movies, will say all the time. If you're having such a problem with this character, why aren't you calling in all of the team? You're a member of this big team, right? Why not call everybody in? Well, Jean actually does call everybody in. She calls in not just Stark, all of the Avengers, but she calls them all in for their specific talents. Like Tony Stark, he's going to make, here we go, Magneto helmets. Because Jean could focus all of her energy on trying to create a psi shield to protect everybody against Cassandra Nova's plans, you know, her trying to use her telepathy to overthrow everybody, or she could save that energy and go directly after Cassandra by everybody using their psychic abilities. Now, there's some things in here that don't make a lot of sense. One of the things is that how is Jean Grey able to use her telepathy while she has the helmet on? Like, she's flying, she's using her telekinesis and all that stuff. How is she able to use mental powers outside of the helmet? Maybe, you know, maybe she's able to, I don't know, just focus down. I was under the presumption that no telepathic abilities, no mind powers could possibly work through that helmet, either in or out, whatever the direction is. But, whatever. I guess just, she's able to use her telekinesis, but not her telepathy. Maybe we're thinking too much about it. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. That's what I do. The other thing I really don't like is that why did Tony Stark have to make the helmets look exactly like Magneto? Because now at this point, it looks like humanity is fighting against Magneto's armies. Seriously, think about that. As far as international terrorists in the comic book community is concerned, I don't have to go too far back to show that Magneto was like the ultimate terrorist against humankind. The ultimate. So that helmet is synonymous with him being evil. In fact, all the times that he did try to turn good, he took that helmet off. So that's something right there that kind of, whoa now. Like those helmets could have been made hot rod red and yellow like Iron Man's armors, and this way it just looks like, there could have been a quick little nod where Gambit or somebody, it would have been cool if Gambit would have said, just had to make them look like your armor, right? The Tony Stark, ever the self-aggrandizer, ever the self-promoter. And Stark could have just been like, from one ego to another, I fully, I fully acquiesce, Remy. Like that, what a great little line that would have been, and we wouldn't have had the Magneto-looking helmets. I mean, it's even got the little, victory thing on this on the front, the same colors and everything. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. I think that we would have gotten the point. It would have been a simple word balloon to point out, great new paint job on Magneto's helmet. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it still has all the same properties, huh? You betcha. The Avengers have had more than enough run-ins with Magneto that I was able to understand exactly what he's doing in order to replicate that helmet. I mean, it's not that hard. To me, it's not that hard, but it's like for a storyline that's already gone 10 issues in this arc, and obviously we're going to go into at least number 11. I don't think that a little bit of extra effort in that would have really killed anybody. But that's all. It doesn't necessarily degrade the comic book. It doesn't degrade the story. It doesn't really degrade anything except the believability for me. It's like that's the one little thing. It's like you literally have the army of Magneto fighting against the armies of humanity because that's the perceived public perception. That's what the public is seeing right now over national TV. National TV was a huge part of this comic book. We need the people to see what's happening. And what they saw was, well, that being said, the art in this, man, oh my God, amazing, amazing. Just, a lot of times people just overlook the person doing the colors. But hey, remember when she got punched in her face? Yeah, by Prestige. Can we call her Prestige again? I really like that name. Yeah, reminder, hey, look, she got hit. She got a solid left, right in the chin, right in the jaw. Bam! You know what I'm saying? Like, spit up blood and everything. Like, whatever. Like that was... So, boom, reminder, she's still healing from that bruise. How often do you see that in the comic books? Not a lot. So this team right here, this art team, you go. Ooh, you go. One of the other things that I also really like is that, and I hope that Dan Slott pays attention to this because he's writing Iron Man. I would like to see, because I know that this comic book is ending, and I'm disappointed that this comic book is ending, but I'm going to take it as, until I know better, I'm going to take it as Tom Taylor. He's like, you know what, I've written the story that I wanted to write for X-Men Red. I don't feel a need to write any more X-Men Red. My story is done, so it's not that the book is canceling, it's that I'm ending my reign, and Marvel is saying, okay, well, we're going to let the comic book rest then. Until I know, because I would really hate to find out that Marvel just said, yeah, we're canceling your book, bud. Because this is a really good read. This is a solid read, these comics, man. These X-Men Red comics, wow, these are good. But since the book is ending, I would really like to see Trinary go and join up with Dan Slott's Iron Man, the Tony Stark Iron Man comic book, because she would be an amazing addition to that comic book. Holy crap. Anyway, also I hope that we haven't seen the last of this Rainbow Sentinel, because I'm trying to remember what his name was. Darn it! I never read the manga, but I saw him in the Avengers Academy books. You know. But this character started off in the Marvel manga verse. The guy who was able to control that Sentinel, and I can't remember his name. Was it Sentinel? Anyway. I would like to see more of that because that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's going to be it. Really good comic book. I definitely enjoyed the hell out of this. Minor little nitpicks and just something that I feel could have enhanced the story a little bit more. But that's all. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.